Welcome to Tia's Table, where we talk about making fitness and wellness doable for busy women like you and me. Looking for healthy meal ideas, workout motivation, and good conversation? Don't worry, I got you, girl. Sit back, grab a snack, and let's have some girl talk. Hey girl, hey, welcome back to another episode of Tia's Table. I'm Tia, a certified group fitness instructor and nutrition coach. I help women develop healthy habits that align with their health, wellness, and fitness goals. If you or someone you know is interested in learning more about developing healthy habits, you can have them reach out to me. You can do that by emailing me at tiavfitness@gmail.com, or you can direct message me on Instagram at tiavfitness. First of all, let's just go ahead and acknowledge the fact that I'm calling you back much sooner than what I thought I would be able to. Hello? I'm going to have to pat myself on the back for the next few calls that I'm able to make on time. And then once I get used to actually being consistent, we won't applaud me anymore, girl. But for this first one, let's just go ahead and give me a round of applause, because who am I even being back in here calling you so soon? I don't know. Before we get started, and I have a little list. Now, this episode is going to be a little bit different than what maybe you are used to from me. But like I told you before, I am trying my best to merge my other number podcast and Tia's Table together. So sometimes when I call you, it'll be more of like the fun stuff that I want to chat about and less about the fitness stuff, like the call we're about to have today. And sometimes when I call, it will be full on like, girl, what are you doing for your workouts? What are you eating? Let's talk about all the things, and let's make sure we are doing all the things so that we can get to where we want to go. But before we get into what I was calling you about today, let's talk about something that is on my table, or it was yesterday, and it was so delicious that I'm like, ooh, I got to tell people about this. Now, this is not a calorie-friendly meal or like food idea that I'm about to give to you. This is not going to meet and match none of your numbers, and it is not going to help you reach not near one of your goals. But it was so good, I have to tell you about it. I also just want to throw out there at the beginning that none of these ingredients are health conscious foods. Well, maybe one of them, but really once you pair it with the other things that are going to be in your bowl, girl, it's not going to be all that good for you, but it's going to be good for you, if you know what I'm saying. So last night after dinner, I was like, ooh, I really want something sweet, actually. And I'm not even like a sweet tooth person. It's very rare that I actually want something sweet, but I was like, you know what? I actually want something sweet. But because healthy me goes shopping, we did not have a cookie. There was not a brownie. I have not baked anything recently. There was nothing. Literally all we had was the ice cream that was requested by my children, and that was it. And so I said, okay, we've got vanilla ice cream in here, and we've got cookies and cream ice cream in here, and that's a good start. That is a great base for something amazing. Now, because it is the summertime and I have not wanted to make breakfast every single morning when I wake up, I have also been buying Eggo waffles all summer for them to kind of air fry or toast or whatever they want to do on their own. And so I said, well, you know what? When I go eat ice cream at a place, I always get a waffle cone for my ice cream. So I bet you if I make a waffle, right, and I put it in the bottom of my bowl, and I put ice cream on top of that, that's a great start for something absolutely delicious. And then we do have strawberries, because one thing I'm going to do is always buy some type of fruit, right? So we have strawberries, so I will get some strawberries, and I will put that on top of my waffle and my ice cream. And so those three things are coming together quite nicely. And then I remembered, oh, we actually do have chopped peanuts. So I'll sprinkle those on the top of this. And the only thing that would have made that little bowl of goodness better would have been chocolate syrup, because I am who I am, we don't have none of that in my house. We don't have any. I didn't have any caramel sauce, no chocolate syrup, no anything, but just those few things, the pecans, the strawberries, the ice cream, and the waffle. Just those, they work together so well. When I mean to tell you, I sat down on that couch and I ate that bowl of yumminess, and I didn't really share it with anybody. Like, it was just so good. And actually, as I was making it, I was trying to like make it very quickly so that I could make it and bring it up to my room and eat it in peace and quiet, when I knew for a fact I wouldn't have to share one spoon of it with anybody else. But just because the devil is busy, as soon as I was almost done making it, I was at the end of my preparation, that big tall man that lives in this house turned the corner and he was like, "Ooh, what is this? Like, what is in your bowl?" And I was like, like, I'm not sharing this with you. I'm about to take this bowl and my spoon upstairs, and I'm going to sit down and enjoy rewatching Snowfall, actually, because we're rewatching that show. And so, of course, he follows me upstairs. We sit down on the couch, and he was like, "You're really not about to share that with me?" And I said, "No, I'm really not going to share it with you. I'm really not going to, because I'm not in the mood to share, right? I'm not in the mood to share now, but because I don't want to feel your eyes piercing into the side of my skull for this whole episode, I will give you a couple spoonfuls as I work my way through this bowl. But we are not sharing. It is not about to be no spoon for spoon with this bowl. I will give you a little taste here and there, because really that is mountains away from where my heart actually is. My heart in this moment is not even in the right place. It's not in a sharing space right now. So whatever you get out of this bowl, consider it a real gift, because really, I don't want to give it to you, right? And so I give him like that first spoon, and I could tell that it was good, because the expression on his face was like, dang, like, dang. And I even had to say to him, all of these ingredients are right downstairs. So you could also be eating this, but see, you're trying to turn over a new leaf and eat better. You're trying to eat, quote unquote, right. So you don't want your own bowl. You just want to taste of mine. And I can respect that, because sometimes when he makes snacks, I don't want one to myself. I just want a little nibble here and there. And he does always share with me. But out of the two of us, I would say I am more likely to be like, nah, you can get your own. And that is me using some alternative language to what I would normally use here in real life. Because like I said, I know y'all listen to this podcast when you be with your kids in the car. But that little bowl was so good. I said, I have to tell the girls about this, because it's going to change their TV binge watching life. So girl, go out there, get you some waffles, bonus points if you make your own waffle. Put you some ice cream on a waffle in a bowl, top it with the things that you love, and then you report back to me and let me know how good that was to you, because it was some kind of good to me. Now, why am I calling you today? Why? Well, because there were a few things that I wanted to discuss. Let's start with the notion of the before and after. In the fitness industry and just in general, I know people also appreciate a good before and after. They like to see what you were like before, and then they like to see where you are at today. And they use the before and after as a as a marker for whatever it was you were doing, right? So they'll look at your before and they'll look at your after, and they'll say, oh, well, then that was time well spent, because look at her. Like, she had a real transformation there. I posted yesterday, which today is Monday. So on Sunday, every Sunday, I post a wellness recap of my week, just showing little pieces of joy or things that I've done for my overall wellness or fitness journey all throughout the week. I do a carousel and I post that every Sunday. Well, this past week, when I was looking through my phone, I was actually looking for a picture of me as a kid in my choir robe at my grandma's church. That's what I was looking for.
But I couldn't find that picture, so I had to go on my uncle's Facebook page and steal it back down off his Facebook page. But I was looking for that. In looking for that, I came across a picture of me from 2023. When I was at the gym, I had like box braids that were in a bob. I remember that hairstyle. It did not live as long as I would have liked for it to. But I saw that picture of me in 2023 and I said, oh my goodness, I have not seen myself from back then in quite some time. Quite naturally, of course I haven't. And I saw that picture and I was like, Tia, yes, like in this moment, you need to give yourself a round of applause because you did not quit on yourself. You kept going even when you felt like you might have been doing the wrong thing, or you felt like nothing was coming from it, or you just felt like you just didn't know. You didn't have any of the answers, right? You were so very unsure of what was happening, but you kept going and look at where you are today. Now, I probably could find a piece of paper that says how much I weighed in 2023. I really don't think any of that is relevant, although I think it was 180 pounds somewhere about, and I'm 5'4", right? But when I look at that picture, I remember that person. Like, I remember what she was working out, what she was trying to achieve, and what she was doing. I was going to the gym, like I was doing all of the things. Like, I remember that point in my fitness journey. But to say that I look at that picture and I have bad feelings, I do not, right? And so in thinking about that, the first thing that I decided to, I was like, you know what? The next morning when I wake up, I'm going to take a picture of myself in that same outfit and I'm going to compare them so that I can see, what I was like then and obviously compare it to what I'm like now, right? But thinking about that, I'm like, yeah, the whole concept of a before and after, I really don't like that. Because to say like before and after kind of suggests that the first picture of you isn't one that you like. And I may have been working towards a goal in that first picture, but I did not dislike myself or anything about my body in that first picture. Now, I may not have liked the way my body was moving. I may not have liked the fact that maybe some of my agility or my, my athletic skills weren't as sharp as they could have been, right? Because I was carrying that extra weight. But to say that I didn't like myself, or I look at that picture and I'm like, ooh, no, get me out of here. No, I didn't feel that way about who I was 2 years ago. I probably felt like, ooh, I'm very stressed out. And I know that to be a fact. Like a couple years ago, I was carrying a lot of stress. And so maybe I see a picture of myself from then and I can see the stress. But even with that, I'm like, I never felt like that version of me was something that I needed to run from. I still very much so loved and appreciated that version of myself. So when I posted that picture on Instagram, I'm like, no, I don't want to call this like a before and after. It's just, this was me then, and this other side is me now. And the space in the middle was a whole lot of different things. Like, I couldn't even tell you one thing that led me from 2023 me to 2025 me, because I did a lot, and I have talked about them all here on this podcast. I will try to do a quick rundown for everybody though. So as we know, I worked out with a personal trainer for like a whole year, right? When that was over, we started doing 75 hard as a group, and we ran through a couple cycles of 75 hard here. And I felt like the 75 hard, in addition to how I was eating while doing 75 hard, really catapulted me in the right direction for me. Now, while doing 75 hard, I was doing a lot of different things, right? I was walking outside and inside on the treadmill. I was riding my bike. I was doing dumbbell workouts. I was going for hikes. I was doing yoga, trying out different workouts on the Peloton app. So I may have done some Pilates. I was probably doing bar. I was literally doing any and everything, I would say, outside of like dance fitness, because I can't sit here and say that I did like Zumba or anything like that, right? So I did a lot of different things. But the one thing that was consistent throughout that whole time was my eating and how I was eating. I focused on what my portions looked like. I focused on how many calories I was taking in. I focused on my macros. I focused on how I was reaching my macros. So am I reaching these macros by eating stuff that I just want to eat today? Meaning French fries or Chipotle or whatever, a biscuit, whatever it may have been? Or was I filling those macros in with things that I know are actually good for you, that show up on your body in a different way? And I would have to say 90% of the time, I focused on filling my macros with things that I knew would be good for me. And the other 10% of the time, I allowed myself to eat something that I actually wanted to in that moment. And I learned the difference between the two. And I learned how the different things actually showed up on me. And more importantly, how the different things help me power a workout. For example, I may have filled my macros. Let's say my kids wanted pizza on a Friday night. I might have filled all of my macros for that day just eating pizza. I may have had 3 slices of pizza. Okay, well, guess what? The next morning when I woke up, I probably could have ran from here to Las Vegas. Not literally, but in my mind, that is how my body felt. Like, oh my gosh, it's so like her tank is full. Her tank is full because, she's actually eaten something that was, heavy. I would feel like, oh my gosh, I could run and walk for forever coming off of a meal that was quote unquote like not on plan or good for me. I learned that if I'm going to eat super healthy, the foods that make me look the way I want to aesthetically, I have learned that my body doesn't necessarily respond to those foods in that same way. So I might eat really clean and that's great. But guess what? When I eat really clean, my body is not going to feel like, oh my gosh, girl, let's run to Las Vegas. My body is going to feel like, ooh, girl, go ahead and pull up that Delta app and let's see what they're charging you to fly to Las Vegas. Because if you about to think you're going to walk or run, boo, that's not the kind of gas we have today. Like, the gas may have been premium because it was full of all those healthy things, but at the end of the day, it's not enough. Like, it's not going to move you in the way you need to be moved. Whereas if I ate a whole bowl of Chipotle on Friday night with my tortilla chips, because y'all know that's how I like to do it. If I ate a whole bowl of Chipotle, definitely that gas might have been real regular. That might have been some real regular gas, but guess what? It would get me to where I needed to go all the same. And I would feel like I could run until I literally couldn't run anymore. Right? So I feel like during 75 Hard, I focused a lot on the whole nutrition part. And because of that, it got me to where I am now in 2025, because now I know for a fact I can control things as little or as much as I want to, purely with how I'm eating. And then the exercise is just like icing on my little fitness cake. Anything that I decide to do workout wise is just going to put me deeper into that deficit. And sometimes I'm not even in a deficit anymore. There are actually days where I know for a fact, like, ooh, this is not in my deficit. And I think my deficit at this point might be about 1,700 calories, right? And I know, like, oh, well, you've eaten more than 1,700 calories today, or I'm pretty sure this particular meal is going to put you over for your macros, but I know it's going to all work out because of how I'm working out and how I'm eating. So I share all of that to say that I feel like there's so much focus on the before and the after, or like I like to say, the then and the now, when really the focus should really be on the dash in the middle. It's really about, what am I actually doing? More importantly, what am I actually learning about myself? And if you want to get to a place where you are living more as the the version of you that represents your goals, focusing on how you got there or how to get there, or focusing on the middle part, being just very curious about yourself and what works for you, is how you get there. And it's how you get there in a way that doesn't cause you to be more stressed than you already are about the whole thing, right? On the last episode, we talked a lot about that. And we specifically talked about Serena Williams and how people felt like she looked too lean, and in one picture that she shared, she really did. Now, I just saw Serena on Instagram yesterday. She had on blue leggings and she was back out on the court playing tennis. And from that angle, Serena does not look like deathly skinny to me. She looks healthy. She looks athletic. She looks like she still has very much so that of a full figure. So I think sometimes we also have to keep that in mind when we're looking at things on the internet. We are catching angles. We also might be looking at pictures that are somewhat photoshopped or filtered or whatever that internet magic is that people might throw on their images just to make them, look better to the people they're posting them for. And so we can't always judge a physique by the photo, right? We just can't. And I think that the best way to get a true idea of where you are in your fitness journey is by taking regular just pictures of yourself, right? Double points if you can take pictures of yourself in clothing that's not black. Because I feel like black looks good on everybody and black slims everybody. But if you can take a picture of yourself in something that's brightly colored, or maybe something that does have a pattern on it or something like that, and then wait for quite some time. Like, I'm not saying you need to take a picture of yourself every day, although I know if you're doing 75 hard, you're probably taking a picture of yourself every day so that you can see your progress. But let's say outside of challenges like that, take more pictures of yourself before and after your workouts, right? So that you do have something that you can go back and compare yourself to 6 months from now, a year from now, or whenever your end date is. Now, when I took that picture of myself in 2023, I had no idea that 2025 me was going to exist. I mean, like, I knew I would be here in 2025, but I did not know where my fitness journey was headed, because to be honest with you, I was at a true loss. When you are someone who works in the fitness industry, the amount of pressure that is on you to always be in shape at a very high level is almost unbearable, because people not only expect you to have the answers for how to help them live a healthy life and be in shape, but people also expect you to always look like you practice what you preach, not thinking that people that work in this industry are also people that can suffer from like depression. You can also be a person who becomes so stressed out that your body responds to that stress physically, and you might start putting on weight. You can also be a person who goes through a hormonal shift, so your body starts to put on weight. You could also be someone whose life just changes for whatever the reason, and it takes you some time to get a handle on like a new schedule or new routine. And so you might gain weight. I would say the only difference between someone who works in the fitness industry and someone who doesn't is that at the end of the day, you kind of do know the science behind how to lose weight. And because you understand the science, you understand that you have to have, you have to give yourself the time and the grace to get to another body composition. Like you get that on a very high level, I think, but it doesn't mean that it's any easier for you. It doesn't mean that the weight loss journey was easy by any means, right? It just means that I understand maybe what to do and what not to waste my time doing. And in that, I kind of wanted to just quickly remind everybody, as we are about to start heading into the second half of 2025, that by 2026, you could literally be so much closer to your goals. And I'm going to encourage everybody to kind of stay away from a couple different things while you are being very curious about what's going to work for you. Let's talk about what you shouldn't waste your time on, what you should not waste your money on, and what you should absolutely just keep doing. Some of this is going to be me repeating things I've already said, but I almost think that is what the people respond to. So girl, hang in there if you feel like you're Sunshine Anderson and you've heard it all before. So here we go. Y'all, please do not do any type of fad diet. If they tell you to drink something for 7 days, if they tell you to go buy gallons of something and only drink this for however many days and then you can have a salad at night, if it says put cayenne pepper in it and lemon juice and shake it up, you literally do not have to do any type of detox or cleanse or any of that. Like, you don't have to pay for that, and you do not have to try to get your body to sustain itself purely off liquids for days and days and days in order to start over or start a fitness journey. You do not have to do that, right? You do not have to make yourself live off of smoothies for weeks at a time in order to reach your goal. You do not have to do that, right? Because a smoothie is just what? Food that you put in a blender and then you mixed it up. You could just eat that same food, right? The same with juicing. Juicing is just fruit that you put in a blender or you put in a juicer and that's it. You can literally just eat those things. And it's something that happens when you lift food to your mouth and you put the food in your mouth and then you chew it. The act of eating actually does send receptors to your brain that says like, oh my gosh, she's eating. Like, this is good. And when you tell your brain that you're eating, regardless of what it is that you're eating, but when you just go through the act of eating, your brain tells itself, oh, we have eaten, right? And so that means we can check this off of our list for right now until it's time to do this again, right? So much comes from putting food into your mouth, chewing it, and then letting it move through your body, like letting your digestive system actually work. It does a lot for your metabolism when you eat real food. There is a big difference between drinking apple juice and eating an actual apple. And I don't mean that in like the nutrition part of it all, because at the end of the day, an apple is an apple. But I mean that in the act of eating kind of way. That there is so much that comes from actually eating food, and you lose that when you start blending and juicing everything, and your body doesn't get a chance to really process whole foods, and your body needs to do that. Everything cannot be in liquid or to me a smoothie is like drinking mud. I have never had mud in my mouth before, but that's what smoothies remind me of, like the mud pies we used to make back in the day. But yeah, there's so many reasons why just eating the food is good for you. So please don't ever make yourself feel like, unless a doctor tells you you need to be on a liquid diet, you don't need to be on a liquid diet, right? Eat your food, consume your food whole. So let's start there. The next thing that people kind of don't need to stress themselves out about is a lot of the how. I feel like people spend a lot of time thinking about how they do something. For example, I saw an article or someone shared with me on Instagram recently something about Japanese walking. And I told my friend when she sent this to me, I was like, this is very interesting to me, but like not in a good way. And I think she sent me back like that, the emoji eyes, like, ooh, girl, what you mean? And I don't even remember if we ever talked about it. But in that article, they were saying like, oh, you speed walk for 3 minutes and then you walk regular for 3 minutes and you do this for 3 minutes and you do that. And I'm like, who has the time? Like, literally, I'm doing good just to be out here. I'm doing good just to be out here walking. So how about we do this? How about I start out speed walking and I just walk at the speed that I'm comfortable with. And if I feel like I can speed it up a little more, I'll do that and I'll hold that speed for as long as I can. And if I feel like I need to slow down, I will do that and I will hold that for as long as I can, because it really doesn't matter the what and the how as much as just the doing. Just get out there. I cannot tell you how many days I get outside and I just walk. Like, I don't try to walk fast. I might not even make it 2.5 miles in my 45 minutes, because I'm like, honestly, like, I'm out here just for the consistency and the discipline of it all. I don't need to be fast. I'm not competing with anybody. This is not a race. I just need to walk. I just need to move my body, right? It's not about, it doesn't have to always be about how many steps you get. Ideally, do you want 10 to 12,000 steps a day? Absolutely. If you're trying to lose weight, sure. But there will be days, once this actually becomes your lifestyle and you're in like a maintenance phase, there are going to be days where you're just like, I just need to get out here and just walk. All I got to give is 30 minutes. I might not even have the full 45 minutes in me today because I'm tired or I don't feel good or whatever. And there will be days where you are tired and you don't feel good. And you might say to yourself, today, it would serve me better to go to bed early than it would for me to get out here and walk, right? I think trying to overcomplicate a process is a lot of people's downfall, because you end up burning out before you even make it to a maintenance phase. Like, you just get sick of the whole thing before you ever even reach your goal. And that's because we've somehow managed to make it more difficult than what it really has to be. That's why a lot of people will ask me about things like a walking vest, which I'm going to try. Like, I'm going to do a science experiment with the walking vest. Just because at this point, so many people have asked me about it. And I always say, like, no, because really in my mind, I'm like, why would I make this harder on myself? Like, why would I take this 45-minute walk that on most days is quite enjoyable? Like, I enjoy the peace and quiet, or I enjoy listening to my music or whatever. Why would I take that and strap 20 pounds to my back? And like, for what? Like, what is the reason, right? Like Cardi B would say. And a lot of the times when I'm outside running, like I said, if I've eaten something the day before that has just given me so much energy, or like if I'm in a really good mood, I might walk that first mile just to get my legs under me and just to get warmed up. But then I'll run the last two, right? And again, where I live is super hilly. So the whole time I'm out there running, I'm running up hills and downhill, uphill and down and downhill. And I just can't imagine doing that with extra weight on my back. But like I said, just for the fitness fun of it all, I'm going to get a weighted vest and see what all the hype is about. And then I will report back to everybody about what happened to me when I was using the weighted vest. But I say all that to say, you don't always have to overcomplicate everything. Sometimes if you walk for 45 minutes and it is the slowest 45 minutes you've ever walked, that's fine. It's better than you skipping the walk altogether, right? We don't have to overcomplicate everything. And I was giving this whole thing a lot of thought. And I almost called y'all back like a couple of days ago, and I actually did. I just didn't post it because after I got finished recording it, I was like, oh, it was too much rambling and it was all over the place. But in that unreleased call, or that recently deleted call, I talked about why is it that we feel the need to even make things harder for ourselves? Like, what is it about us that focuses so much on the before? Like, even with that, like, why do we focus so much on the before? And I think as women, it is something that's just rooted in, I would say, the majority of us, because I know it's not true for all. But for some of us, especially if you consider yourself to be like a type A personality, you look for problems to solve. You look for things to do. You look for ways and strategies to quite possibly make something be different And by doing that, you accidentally just make things more convoluted or inefficient or just hard on yourself, because you're always looking for something to do or a thing to fix or a problem to solve. And it's like we can't help it. So for a lot of people, you would look at your before picture, or you would look at yourself in the mirror, maybe at the beginning of your fitness journey, or you might even be in the middle of your fitness journey, and you're looking at yourself in the mirror, and instead of seeing how far you've come, or instead of just being appreciative of all the things your body can do now, you're looking at things to fix. And like your eyes automatically go to the things that haven't quite taken shape yet. And I hear this all the time, right? Somebody could very well message me today, and they could show me a picture of them then and a picture of them now. They will say they've lost 40 pounds. Then the very next thing they'll say to me is, but I just can't seem to get like this little area of my tummy to be like flatter, or I just can't seem to get my booty to do this, or like my back doesn't look like that girl's on the internet. Like, help me figure out how to blah, 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 blah. And I think from now on, I'm going to start telling people, quit looking for problems to fix. Like, if your goal was to lose 40 pounds, girl, you lost the 40 pounds. And this is what that 40-pound weight loss looks on you. Now, of course, you can keep lifting weights if you want to, because the more you lift weights and the more you tone and do all of that, your body will continue to just turn fat into muscle. And the more muscle you have, the better off you are for so many reasons, right? But what we can't do, and this is something else I'm saying people shouldn't waste their time doing, what you should not waste a lot of time doing is constantly looking in the mirror and like being nitpicky about it all. Like, you've got to let the journey be the journey. And you've got to let what comes with the journey just be what it is. And that's something that I don't think I was that good at doing. I know I wasn't. Like, as I was going through my journey, I kept saying like, oh, I just want my back to be this, or I just want this to be that way, instead of just being appreciative of the fact that I was getting closer to my goal. And my goal was to just be able to put my clothes back on, the clothes that were in my closet. That's all I wanted to be able to do. Or at least that's what I told myself, until I started seeing results. And then I started nitpicking everything and trying to find things to fix and change. And like, I was trying to push myself beyond what I said my goal was. And I'm like, don't waste a lot of your time doing that. Don't waste a lot of your time doing that, because even in the maintenance phase, once you get to a place that you're happy with and you start just trying to maintain that size, you can still tone. Like, your body is going to still create muscle, and you're still going to see other types of results as long as you keep working out and eating right. It just might not be weight loss. Like, you might not, continue to get smaller and smaller. You might not see the number on the scale continue to go down, but you will see that your arms will take shape a little bit more. You might get more muscles in your back. That little pouch on your stomach that everybody hates, girl, it might go away. But then again, it might not. Like, you and that pouch, y'all might go together real bad. Like, y'all might be together forever, ever. And I have decided for myself, like, that's going to be okay with me, because I'm not about to demand more from my body that I'm not even willing to demand from myself mentally. And mentally, I know I'm tapped out. I'm at capacity for all the things I'm willing to do. Like, I'm not willing to work out for more time each day. I'm not willing to change my food to the point where I'm never eating anything that I love or enjoy. I'm not willing to tell myself that there might be certain times throughout the year where I'm definitely going to bust a margarita down. Like, I'm not willing to tell myself that. And because I know those things, I said I need to start embracing the parts of me that maybe 2023 me would have been nitpicking, because I think that's part of the journey too. So if you are at the beginning of your journey, or let's say you're in the middle of it, and maybe you feel like you've hit a plateau, or you feel like you're doing all these things and you're not seeing any change, I would say try not to spend so much time on the whole like thinking part of it. Because I do feel like as women, sometimes we overthink. Don't spend a lot of time thinking. Just do it. Just do it. Just get out there and walk. Go to your fitness classes that you love. Lift weights a couple times a week. Focus more on learning about yourself and let that curiosity take you to where you ultimately want to be. There will always be a version of you that existed then, you know? There is always the version of you that exists right now. And she should be appreciative of whoever you were at the beginning of your fitness journey. We should never look at that version of ourselves like, never again. And I know someone will message me and be like, well, you can say that because blah, 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 blah. Nope, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because guess what? Whoever you were at the beginning of that fitness journey, that person was alive, right? First of all, she was keeping you in existence and she was keeping you alive. She was sustaining your life, right? Number two, she deserves maybe the love that she got or the love that she didn't get. She didn't deserve to be spoken to like crazy, right? Nope. And even with that, if you were a person that was telling yourself negative things about yourself, the version of you today, if you are now starting to swap out some of that negative self-talk with more positive self-talk, imagine how much enjoyable your journey may have been if you were using positive self-talk at the beginning and you were hyping yourself up regardless from the beginning. Imagine. It really does give you a lighter load. So I would say that's one of the things that I want everybody to do, right? As you are going down your checklist of the day and you're drinking water and you're getting your steps and your strength training and you're eating by your numbers and like all that stuff, also insert some positive self-talk into that. Start telling yourself nice things. Start hyping yourself up. Start thinking about yourself in a way that future you will come to appreciate, right? Because none of us know who we are going to be in our 50s. We don't know what curveballs life might throw at us as we head into our 50s. But one thing I do know is I want to be able to look back on my 40-year-old self when I'm in my 50s and say, like, we did okay. Like, we did okay. I don't want it to be like I was in my 30s. In my 30s, I nitpicked a lot. I stressed a lot. I worried about everything. I always felt like it wasn't enough. Like anything that I was doing, I felt like I needed to be doing more. I felt like I couldn't rest unless things were getting done. And now that I'm in my 40s, I know for a fact that was a waste of my time. Like it was a pure waste of my time. Who I am today, present day me, knows, like, even when I get that feeling of like, oh, you should be doing this or you should be doing that, I tell myself, you should be resting, right? You should be resting. When I start to feel stressed out, because I feel like stress management was a huge part of that 2 years of growth for me. Whenever I start to feel stressed out now, I say to myself, is the thing you're stressed out about, is someone very close to you, are they sick to the point where it's fatal? And then I have to tell myself, no. Are your kids okay? Are they safe? Are they healthy, happy kids? Now I have to tell myself, yes, right? Is the relationship that you're in, is it, some days I have to be like, can you tolerate it? And I've been married for a very long time, so it's okay for me to say that. It's like, are you in a good, healthy, like happy relationship that on even at its worst, you're able to still function and it doesn't like consume you fully? And I say, yeah, no, I'm in a good relationship. Like, he's doing the things that you ask him to do. And if he's not doing them, dang it, you can see the effort. He's trying, right? And so then when I go down that list and I throw my brothers in there, cause I don't have any sisters, I throw my brothers in there and I'm like, are all your brothers doing okay? Yeah. As far as you know, they're doing great. And so then I have to tell myself, so Tia, then whatever it is you're stressed out about, if it's not any of the things that we just discussed, like, girl, you have to come down off of whatever is stressing you out. And in most cases, the things that stress me out, I won't speak for everybody, when you actually think about it, it's small, right? It's a very small thing. Now, of course, as we get older, you might get some news from a doctor that's not, the best. It might be concerning. And so then you have to wait for results and like things like that. And situations like that are stressful. But even in those times when I've experienced those, I have to tell myself, well, has anybody called to tell you something catastrophic and bad? Then I have to say, no, I haven't even heard back from them yet. Okay. Well, then you reserve the stress and the worry for when you actually hear something. And guess what? When they call you back, if they say all is well, things are good, then you would not have spent and wasted time worrying for nothing, right? So I feel like us learning how to manage stress and just have a more positive mindset is a big part of all of this. So I would also like to encourage everybody to start practicing just better stress management skills. And if you feel like you do have a hard time with that, seek out some help for it, because it can be the difference between everything you doing actually working for you and everything you're doing holding you right where you are. People would be surprised to know how big of an impact stress has on you. And we've got to learn how to let things go. Either we got to learn how to let things go, or we have to be willing to accept them as they are, right? Or we have to be willing to make the change that we know needs to happen in order to get to a place where we are not stressed out. I know, I think I shared this before, but like a few weeks ago, months ago, whatever, I found out that I had a cyst on my right ovary. And that had been giving me some pain for a very long time. And when I mean a very long time, I mean well over a year. For a very long time, I would get really sharp pain on my right side whenever I was about to start my cycle. And I thought like, this is probably just because I'm getting older, because I really have never had bad periods. I've never been somebody that had bad headaches or bad cramps or whatever. Like, I get my period and it's just an inconvenience for me, but it's never been anything that like shuts me down or makes me feel like, well, I can't do so-and-so because I'm on my period. That has just never been my story. So when I started having this pain, I was like, oh man, maybe this is because I'm getting older. And I never thought about it. Well, when the pain kept coming back month after month, I was like, maybe I should mention this to somebody the next time I go to the doctor. So I mentioned it to my doctor. I get a referral to go to an actual OBGYN. I have the ultrasounds done. They're like, yep. What she had told me, it sounded like it was a cyst before I had the ultrasound. But she was like, yeah, you definitely have a cyst. By the way this cyst looks, she was like, I don't think you have cancer or anything like that, but we'll do a blood panel just to be sure. And I'll do the panel for like all of the things, right? And so, during that waiting period, I was stressed out because I was like, oh my gosh, what is she going to say when she calls me back? But let's just remain positive, because until I get news, there is no news, right? So she calls me back, with my results. I don't have cancer. And she says, we can just monitor the size of the cyst. So you can come back in a month or so and we'll see if this cyst is getting bigger or if it's just holding its size or if it's going away. And so my cyst was holding steady, like she wasn't going anywhere. She would get a little big and then she'd go back to her original size. She wasn't really ever going away though, right? Now, oddly enough, once I started seeing this particular doctor, my cyst stopped hurting kind of altogether. And what little bit of pain I was experiencing was nothing that I felt had like a big impact on my day or on my life or anything like that, right? So I'm thinking it's all good. So she says, okay, we'll have you come back for another ultrasound just because we want to just keep watching it, right? Well, I go back last week for another ultrasound. Boom, I had the ultrasound on Monday. My doctor calls me on Thursday And she's like, yep, your cyst is still the same size. She was like, but now you also have a cyst on your left side too. And so then I was like, oh, well, that's not what I was expecting you to say, like, at all. I thought I just had the one cyst and we were just gonna, kind of ride it out with her, since we had also done the work to know that it wasn't like cancerous or anything like that. But when she told me I also had a cyst on my left side, I said, okay, well, one thing I do know is that if both of these cysts ever decide to start hurting at the same time, that would be debilitating pain. That would knock me out. Like, I wouldn't be able to do anything until one of them let up, because I already knew how painful the right side was at its worst. As soon as she told me there was one on the left too, I said, oh no, there's no way I can put myself in a situation where I could potentially have both of them hurting at the same time. So yeah, let's go ahead and schedule me to lay down on somebody's table so we can have these cysts removed. And so she talked to me about what my options were. She told me about what would happen in a worst case scenario. I was comfortable with all of the options that were presented to me. And so I'm going to have the surgery to have them removed. It's only a 2-week recovery. I'm having the cysts removed, not my ovaries. My ovaries will only get removed in like a worst case scenario situation. But yeah, I'm going to have them removed, and there's that. And so I share that story to say that old me, 2023 me, would have been stressed to the point where I probably could not have even spoken to people. I would have had to go into my little rabbit hole of stress that I used to do until I heard back from her about how all of this was going to end. I would not have even been able to function because my anxiety would have been eating me alive. 2025 me is able to think a little bit more clearly. And I say it's not a problem until someone tells me it's a problem, number one. And then once I find out it is a problem, what are my choices, or what options do I have to solve this problem? Pick one of those solutions, Tia. Pick a solution and let it be done. And just let it be done. You do not have to spend so much of your time worrying about anything or stressing about anything. Because at the end of the day, things will just be what they will be, right? And in stressing yourself out about things, you're holding on, like your body is using so much energy to be stressed out when your body could be using that same energy, girl, to burn fat. And wouldn't I rather my body say, oh, she's calm, she's at ease, things are fine. So instead of us stressing out and being anxious, we're going to stay in a place of calm. And instead, we'll just let her metabolism continue to work and function. And we'll just be over here burning fat while you wait for them people to call you back and let you know what day your surgery is going to be. Absolutely, I would. Absolutely, I would. So I hope we all can start to focus more on the doing, our process, figuring out things that work for us. I hope we all keep that genuine curiosity about ourselves so that we're constantly learning about ourselves. And we are so in tune to our bodies that when it's time to make a change, we can make it. When we feel like something is not quite right, we can address it in a timely manner. And that we aren't wasting so much of our time or our money on things that at the end of the day just don't really give you any of the results that you might be looking for. So hopefully that is helpful, because it certainly has been helpful to me. And I think that trying to get to a place where I am just more content and more at peace and at ease, and I'm just being easier on myself, I think has been one of the personal keys to my fitness success. Because I do truly believe that nothing was ever going to come from me being so hard on myself, stressing myself out, never giving myself a chance to rest. And even when I was resting, I was doing it with some type of guilt attached to it. Like that wasn't serving me at all. So if you're somebody that's out there and all you know is hard, so you choose hard and you're always looking for problems to fix, or you're always nitpicking something, or you're always just upset about something, this is me telling you, like, girl, it doesn't have to be that way. You could literally, on a dime, decide to change, be easier with yourself, give yourself more grace, tell people no it's going to be okay. And if you ever are faced with something that you feel like is not going to be okay, look at all the options that you have in front of you to quickly remedy that so that you're not living in a state of stress all the time. That, and like I always say, watch what you eat and see if those two things combined together don't give your fitness or wellness journey new life. So there's not much of a workout report to report other than the fact that I think I'm going to be fine with my Pilates classes. They were able to fix the schedule so that more of us will be able to come at times that were going to actually work for us once school starts back. So I'm feeling more positive about that now, and I'm going to continue to go to my level 2 classes. I will say, however, within the level 2 classes, there are still things that I just can't do. Getting into my teaser and Pilates is one of them. I can do it on the mat. I cannot do it on the reformer. And I don't know why that is. I have also kind of embraced the fact that maybe I will never achieve the skill of being able to get into my teaser on the reformer. And as long as I feel like I'm in a good place in my fitness journey, I don't think that's going to bother me. Actually, today in class, when we were instructed to get up into our teaser, myself and my Pilates buddy, we were on the reformers next to each other. The two of us couldn't get up into it. And I said out loud so that everybody could hear, I said, "It's okay, girl. Me and you, we're better at other things. This is not any indication of our athletic ability whatsoever." So I release myself of feeling like that is something that, that if I never get it, like, oh my gosh, I can't be a Pilates princess because I can't get into that. Actually, it's kind of like, no, my body is actually strong. I can do a lot of things. Not only can I do a lot of things, but I can do them with endurance. Like I can hold them for a long time, or I can do them for a long time. This one particular thing, though, for whatever reason, I can't do it, and no one's perfect. No one can do everything, you know? I tell myself that, and then I have moved on. So I'm very much so happy with what I feel my workout routine is going to be once my kids go back to school. So yes. So not too much on the workout report. Now, some of the random things that I would like to talk about very quickly before we end this call. Number one, Klay Thompson and Megan Thee Stallion, y'all, they go together and they look good together. And you know, she posted a workout video, which she always does these with like the voiceover, like the funny voiceover, but he was in it this time. And so then now I have a couple questions. Number one, how long have you guys been going together? Like, how long have y'all been a couple? Clearly, it's been for quite some time because you guys are just with each other now, like all out in the open. So I feel like y'all must have been dating for a while and you kind of felt like you couldn't hide it anymore. So now you're like public and you're like super public together. And I think it's so cute. I love the fact that he now plays for the Dallas Mavericks because he used to play for Golden State and he played for them a long time. Because I feel like people didn't know who he was. Klay Thompson was a part of the Splash Brothers, him and Steph Curry. They've won, or he has won, like several NBA championships. He was recently traded to the Dallas Mavericks, so he plays for them now. Y'all know she's a Houston hottie, so I feel like it's a match made in Texas heaven, as much heaven as Texas can hold. Because let's face it, I don't know if heaven is in Texas. I don't think it is. And I'm sorry for the people that might live there. But yeah, I feel like this is a cute couple. I feel like what I love about him with her is that he is fully established. Like he has his own brand. He has a good job. He has a good job. I feel like he doesn't really need what all comes with Megan, like all of that attention and the limelight and the celebrity of it all. Like he's not looking to get anything from her, but like her, I'm sure her love and attention. I'm sure. Because he doesn't need any of the other stuff. And I feel like everybody else that she's been with up until this point, she was always the bigger star. And he's an equally as big star, but just in a whole nother field. And I feel like that's great. I really like it. I really enjoy it. I'm really looking forward to seeing Meg at some NBA games. It is rumored, and I don't know how true any of this is, so, because I'm not the biggest sports girly, but, I hear the things I hear. It is rumored that maybe LeBron James is thinking about making his way to the Dallas Mavericks, and if he does, that means for sure they're going to get a lot of TV time, and that means for sure we might get to see our good sis Meg be in full NBA girlfriend mode. What do they call them? WAGs? Or whatever, which Meg wouldn't be that. She would be Megan Thee Stallion, but I go with Klay Thompson. I'm excited. I feel like this could be it for her. I mean, she's still young, so I hope she doesn't rush into anything. But if she were going to rush into something, this would be the right one to rush into. Get you that good old prenup, girl, and you rush right into that. You do. You just do it. Do it for the plot. I'm only kind of kidding. But if you were going to, this is the one that you do that with. And I'm so glad she didn't do that with any of the ones that she dated before this. And also, I just love the fact that Megan is dating. Like that she's so empowered by who she is, and she knows who she is enough to date and really not even care. So like her and Klay could break up before the NBA season even starts. They could break up, and guess what? I don't think that would be no sweat off Meg's back. I mean, maybe behind the scenes her feelings would be a little hurt, but I don't think, I don't think it would be no sweat off Meg's back. And I love that for Megan. Megan is also looking so good these days. She looks young. She looks fresh. She looks rejuvenated. Body is tea. Body was always tea, but body is really like tea, like now. I really love where this is going for her. So we'll all have to keep our eyes open to what her and Klay may or may not have going on. He seems to be very in love. And I'm sure Klay is. If you have ever seen any of him, like clips of him talking before, Klay has always been, because I've seen people say, oh, he's kind of nerdy, he's kind of geeky or whatever. He has always been that way. Which is why I think that they are like the perfect match, because she's really a hot girl, Megan is. And for her to be paired with somebody that's a little bit more like maybe not as expressive, I think is a good match, because he does seem to be very much so happy to be there. He does. He really does. And that makes me happy for her. So we'll keep our eye on that. Speaking on couples, now, if you are a Peloton person, you ride your bike, you got a treadmill, maybe you got a row machine, maybe you have the app on your phone and you're just doing random workouts here and there, you probably know Rad and Tunde, right? Now, me and a friend have come to notice that Rad and Tunde are together quite a bit. They are together quite a bit in pictures with other couples, right? And I mean like double dates, so it'll be a group of 4, or it'll be a group of 6, might be a group of 8. It's always even numbers. Sometimes they're in Tulum. Sometimes they're in somewhere else exotic, Turks and Caicos. Sometimes they're in New York. Sometimes they're wherever they are, but they're always together with another couple. Or perhaps 2 other couples. They're at family things. They're salsa dancing in a kitchen. They are always together. And it is surprising to me that no one in the Peloton universe has written a comment under any of these pictures or videos that we've seen saying, hey, are Rad and Tunde a couple? Like, what's going on? Are they together? Yes or no? Like, is there some type of fraternization policy over at Peloton? I doubt it, because so many of the people that work there have either dated or gotten married or whatever. So they can't have no real rules around them coupling up. But if these 2 are a couple, I want to know. I want to know. And so I have on my detective hat, and I will be doing a thorough investigation of all of the videos and photos that I see from this point forward, because if they are together, we have got to know. Like, I need to be nosy and I need to find out. Are y'all or not? Like, are you? Like, are you? It's not going to change the way I look at you. I'm still going to take your classes. I'm still going to like your images as they come across my timeline. But I just need to know, like, are you guys together? Because it's odd to me that when I see you all together, I don't see any other Peloton people. I see like people y'all are related to or people you consider family. You know, like when your friends become your family. That's what I see. I see you guys at weddings together. I see you guys on vacations. I see you guys together quite a bit. And I don't understand why no one else is nosy enough in the comments to just ask the questions. Just put the feelers out there. Are they or are they not? Not that we have to know, but I would just like to know. I would just like to know. I would just like to know. In the same way I would like to know if Damson and Lori are still dating secretly behind the scenes and they just refuse to be photographed together. Because in my mind, I'm like, I would very much so like for them to still be a couple. I thought they were cute together. I thought that was a really good match for our good sis Lori. I really did. I like them together. And a part of me thinks that they might still be together. They just don't want us to know they're together. Right? But I doubt it. I doubt that they are still together. But Tunde and Rad, I have a feeling you guys are very much so together. I have a feeling like y'all have spent night bags and y'all be together like at nighttime. I feel like you guys travel together and I feel like you guys go on dates. I feel like you guys are double dating. And I feel like if any of this is the case, I feel like I like it and I like it a lot. So I just need confirmation. If anyone knows anything that I don't know, feel free to slide in my DMs and confirm for me that either, girl, you crazy and stay out them people business, or girl, you're actually spot on. You're spot on and they're friends with benefits. And if Tunde is reaping the benefits of being Rad's friend, I'm so very happy for her. And I hope she continues to reap the benefits of his friendship as long as they both shall live. Moving on. Why hasn't anybody said anything about where the FLOTUS is? You know, I'm on my timeline quite frequently, and so I see a lot of mess from the news coming across my timelines. That man has done this, that man has signed that man is tearing the world apart. Meanwhile, I haven't heard nothing from his wife. And I mean, obviously, the last time that he lived on Pennsylvania Avenue, we really didn't hear much from her that time either. But this time, I'm like, no, girl, this time we really haven't heard anything from you. And I think y'all's son is in college now, is he not? So I know you're like an empty nester at this point. You could be trying to give your family some good press, read to a baby, go hold a baby, walk a dog, I don't know, go down to the animal shelter, do something. You could be doing something to give these people some type of positive press, slay a look, do something. And there's nothing. I have not seen nor heard anything about where she might be or what she's doing. What are her initiatives? What is it? It feels like it is just a complete and utter waste of our time. That's what it feels like. All of it, to be honest. It also feels like a complete waste of our tax dollars. I do feel like in this moment, America is stealing from me because I'm like, we pay taxes, we do all these things that we're supposed to do. And what are y'all doing right now other than dismantling democracy and ripping this country apart? Are you doing one thing that's positive? And I would have to say the answer to that is absolutely no. But if you were smart, even in the smallest bit, if there was one part of your brain that you hadn't lost, you would dress her up and throw her out there and have her do something nice, have her smile at somebody or do something. But I'm just like, who works PR for them? I don't think anybody does at this point. I think they are, and they probably are beyond. Let me just face the facts. They probably are beyond any good press at this moment. But the other day, I just thought to myself, what happened to her? Like, are they even still together? We talking about couples being together? Are the two of them even still together? Whatever happened to her? Or are we first lady, like, less? Like, maybe we don't even have a FLOTUS right now. Seems to be that way. As I was scrolling one day on Threads, I came across a post about April Jones. Now, if you don't know who April Jones is, most recently, she is the ex-girlfriend of Taye Diggs. They dated for a long time, and they used to make very cute, funny videos together. She might also be known by you as Omarion's, I don't know if they were married. Were they married? Let's just say she's his ex-wife. They have 2 children together. But remember, when they broke up, she started going with Fizz, his bandmate, like his boy band mate. And that was on like Love and Hip Hop, right? She was a cast member on Love and Hip Hop as well. Well, somebody found out that April Jones is now an ultrasound tech, or she quite possibly was always an ultrasound tech. We just didn't know because she was acting in movies and, she was on TV. So she didn't have to be scanning bellies or like things because she had a different job. But now she's scanning again. She's an ultrasound tech. People have found out, and people were like blasting her for having a quote unquote regular 9 to 5. And when I was reading about that, I was thinking that girl has 2 kids. She has 2 kids. So I don't see this being any different from someone who might work at like Starbucks between movie roles. Like if I was an actor, she is an actor. And you can go watch her in movies right now on like Peacock. She actually has a movie with Taye Diggs, which there's a lot to say there. And we don't have enough time for me to say it. But the movie is on Peacock. Like this girl has been in things. You can look her up on IMDb. She spells her name APRYL. April Jones, right? And to me, I'm like, she is no different than anyone else who's just working in between roles. And she even said in a video, like she just auditioned for something. She's hoping to get it. But while she's waiting to hear back on what her next role is going to be, like, yes, she's back working in the medical field. And she said all of her coworkers have been super nice and super supportive, yada, yada, yada. But it's the people on the internet that seem to have a problem with her having a 9 to 5. And I just wonder, when did having a job become something that y'all felt like you were going to have a strong opinion about, especially when someone has to take care of other people? Now people are saying like, oh, she was probably making so much money when she was on Love and Hip Hop. Like she should have been investing. She has somehow fumbled her own bag. She's getting child support from Omarion. So why isn't that enough money for her not to be back? Like doing a 9 to 5, like somewhere something just isn't right. And to me, I'm thinking, or she just likes to work. Like y'all have just listed 8 million jobs that this girl has just had. Maybe she just likes to work. And so instead of solely relying on child support and maybe solely relying on whatever investments that she's made or businesses she might have or whatever, she was like, you know what? I'm not doing much with my time right now. I'll just go back to work. Like I'll just start doing ultrasound work again until I just don't feel like doing it anymore. Like we don't know anything about her real actual life, and we certainly don't know anything about her finances. We just assume that people we see on TV are making a lot of money, but maybe she wasn't even making that much money. I don't know. I didn't look it up because I don't care. So I don't even know how much money those people make when they're on those reality TV shows. I would just like to bet, and I would just like to assume with my 41-year-old brain that if she didn't have to work, she would not be, number one. Number two, even if she didn't have to work, if she just wants to, that's perfectly fine. And number three, we have got to start having opinions on things that actually matter. And this is one that shouldn't matter to anyone but April and her kids. Moving on to my next topic. The CEO that cheated on his wife at the Coldplay concert. First of all, the fact that she was the HR, or she was the head of HR, makes this real rich to me. Makes it real rich. It's kind of like the audacity of it all. But really, the part that gets my goat is the fact that y'all must have been cheating for a long time, and maybe people have always known that y'all were cheating. I don't get from them that this is news to the people in their life, right? People might just be embarrassed about it now. But I'm like, if you are so bold as to go to a concert where you are going to be holding somebody and swaying, you're out in public with that many people, you can run into anybody at a concert that will recognize you, which lets me know that clearly whoever that coworker was that was with them at the concert, she knew. I'm pretty sure she wasn't the only person that worked for that company that knew. And I'm pretty sure his wife knew. I don't think this was news to his wife. It could not have been. I'm pretty sure his wife had to say to herself, well, now that you have made our business the world's business, because apparently this made it to the news in Taiwan, so this is an international cheating scandal now. Now I'm going to have to put this prenup to work. I'm going to have to, because now you have embarrassed me and shamed me in front of the world, and I can't go down like that in front of my kids. So now I gotta peace out. I gotta go. I gotta do what I gotta do. He has since resigned. I don't know. I didn't read the full statement, so I don't know if the woman that's the head of HR, I don't know if she resigned, but he has since stepped down as the CEO of that company. And for what? And I can't for the life of me, maybe it's because I'm not a man, so we'll start there. But I can't for the life of me understand what makes certain men want to risk it all. Like, you are the CEO of this company, you're married to a woman, and of course the internet found this lady, and so now we've seen pictures of her. Cute girl, very pretty lady. So I was like, you have a pretty wife at home who is the mother of your children. You are the CEO of this company. The people are saying money ain't a problem for y'all. So you're doing very well for yourself. Why did you need the woman from HR in your life at that level? Why were you willing to risk everything? How your kids look at you? Because this does taint your legacy. Like, in my opinion, when men do stuff like this, they probably only see it as them like dipping and doing something they ain't got no business doing. But I'm like, at the end of the day, no. Once it becomes public knowledge, that taints your legacy. And by public knowledge, I mean once your family finds out. So once your kids know and your wife knows, those are the people whose opinion should matter to you the most. It changes how they look at you. Never mind the whole world, because the world has taken this story and ran with it. I just saw a post from a Phillies baseball game, if I'm not mistaken, where now the jumbo cam, you know how it used to be like a kiss cam. Now it's literally called, I think, like the Coldplay cam, where they are finding couples and you're supposed to react shocked and embarrassed like the couple at the Coldplay concert. I'm like, yeah. Yes, like your legacy at this point. Now you will be known as the man at the Coldplay concert instead of being the man that came up with whatever this business was that was highly successful. And to the lady that was with him, I'm sure you had a successful career in human resources, but now everybody's just going to know you as the lady that was cheating on her husband with this man who was also married at the Coldplay concert. It's really the legacy for me. It's really the decision making that people make that is always bigger than what we think it's going to be. Which is why it's important on a day-to-day basis when you're making decisions about, should I do this thing? Should I not do this thing? Is this right or is this wrong? It's very important to think about how that decision might look years from now. Like, is this going to be something that I will feel like was a good decision years from now? And if the answer to that is no, if I don't feel like this is an honorable decision that I'm making, will I be able to look myself in the mirror after I make this decision? If the answer to that is no, then I say, ooh, well, maybe I shouldn't make that decision. And I feel as if people clearly, with the invention of the internet, we have learned that not everybody lives by that same creed. Maybe they should. Maybe we should all adopt this way of thinking. And until we do, we will continue to see things like this happen. And I feel bad for his family. I do. I feel bad for his family because they didn't ask to be embarrassed about this. But his daughter made a TikTok, and apparently she didn't have a TikTok account before this. This is what the people are saying. I don't know if it's true or not. But she made a TikTok about, and it's like a funny video about like, oh my gosh, like you suddenly become famous because your dad cheated on your mom or like whatever the TikTok says. But like in the comments, people were dragging that girl for filth, saying that she was trying to get clout or she was trying to start being like a successful influencer or whatever off of the fact that her dad cheated on her mom, and it's like all over the news. And it's just, I'm like, well, if you can't beat them, join them, maybe. If something good can come out of this for his kids, let it happen. Like if that girl can make some money off of picking on her own father, sure, as long as her mom doesn't care, we shouldn't care either. But that whole story, I'm just like, y'all, I hope they realize it never had to be that. You could have also just cheated in the privacy of someone's hotel room. You really could have. It's really the gall for me. It's the fact that you had the balls to be that out in public on a real bona fide date. Crazy. Craziness. And lastly, I did a roller set on my hair a few days ago. Actually on Thursday, so like we're a few days into this hairstyle. And let me tell you, not only did the roller set come out good, but I think I have found myself a new hairstyle. It survived Pilates today. I sat outside on the back porch while it was raining, so it was super humid out there. It survived that. It was really quick and easy to do, and I'm loving the results. I feel like I may have found a new natural hairstyle that is going to work for me, that keeps me from having to either wet my hair every day or like be manipulating it every day, which is super important for when it gets cold outside. Right during the summer, I can have wet hair and it's not a big deal. But during the fall and winter, I definitely never did like the fact that I felt like I always had to wet my hair in order to get it to look like something. Now, one thing that I can say that I'm not really loving about this hairstyle, granted, I've only tried it once. I've only made one attempt, but I do feel like for now, it looks best with me wearing a headband. And there's something about wearing a headband that if it's not the right headband, I feel like it looks kind of childish. Like if I had on a shirt that matched that headband, it may as well snap between my legs, right? And I don't want to look like that. So I'm like, I'm going to have to invest in some nicer, more grown-up, sophisticated looking headbands. But once we do that, I feel like this is going to be a good hairstyle for me, and I'm quite excited about it. The other part to this is I could also learn how to give myself a part so that once I have rolled my hair and I take the rollers out and all of that, it is in a different kind of style that would not require me to wear a headband, but I'm not quite there yet. But I just wanted to share for the people who are out there, especially if you have natural hair and you're looking for things to do with their hair, give yourself a good shampoo, condition your hair really well, so that it's like nice and soft. Get a good setting lotion. Now, the setting lotion that I use is the one that my hairstylist sells. So once I see what the name of that is, because the bottle that I have, like the front of it is rubbed off. So I couldn't tell you the name of it if I tried. But get a good setting lotion, one that doesn't leave your hair all crunchy and hard. Girl, roll your hair, sit under the dryer like we used to do back in the day, and let's see what happens. Because I never did learn how to cornrow. I never did learn how to flat twist or braid really that well or any of that. But one thing that I learned how to do at a very young age was roll my hair. And so I have tapped back into that which I know how to do, and it did not fail me. It was like riding a bike. And so I'm very, very happy with my hair. So I just wanted to share that, because when you see me on the internet, if I have on a headband, just know it is because I just recently did a roller set on my hair, and wearing that style in a headband is all I know how to do for now. And I'm very excited about it. So yes, I think that's it. Let me check my list. Let me double check it. Yep. I think that was all that I had for today. So look at us. Look at us in our consistency in motion. So let's just see if I can come back again next week. Remember, when you're out, say something nice to a woman, make her day, compliment her, say something that makes her smile. Don't compete, don't compare, don't complain. What God has for you is for you, and never knock another woman's hustle. Thank you for checking out this episode of Tia's Table. Please be sure to tell your friends about it, girl. Rate me and review me. Spread the word like wildfire. Let the people know that we have a real good time over here. And I will talk to you on our next call. Love you, girl. Bye.